Good news, weather, sports, events, cooking, music, and more right here on your Madison County Weather Channel. Watch at MadisonKYLive.com, YouTube, Facebook, and Roku. Madison County Emergency Management wants to remind you, know your zone. Check them out, Madison County Emergency Management, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
The Home and Community-Based Waiver Program, funded by Medicaid and administered through the Madison County Health Department, enables senior adults or persons of any age with disabilities to continue to live in their own homes. Attendant care services include light housekeeping, personal care assistance, mobility assistance, and other services. Call the Home and Community-Based Waiver Program today to speak to program staff at 859-623-3441. That's 859-623-3441.
Metronet Fiber. Love your internet. 100% fiber optic network for home, office, education, and business. Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors. And now, from the luxurious studios of Madison County Live, located in Southern Hills Plaza, it's the weekend edition of Madison County Live. Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's show. We got a lot on the agenda tonight.
We sure do, Randy. Guess what?
How do you watch your weather?
Well, I watch my weather 24/7, 365 right here on Madison County Live. We're going to want to do it because we've got some great events coming up.
We sure do. We also have Dr. Roelofs coming on. Replay with Ricky Pryor, the editor at the Richmond Register, and they're talking about how much money Berea College decided to give to the Eastern Kentucky flood relief.
Very special. We also have the Spoonbread Festival coming up this week.
Right.
We're going to give you all the details.
That's right.
Fantastic
Debbie with the Berea Chamber of Commerce will be here, and that's also a replay recap. Oh, I like that.
You do really like that,
Hashtag
don't you?
recap replay. And, of course, exercise with Candace.
That's right. And we're going to wrap the entire show up with the Cain Pole Fishing Report. All that and more coming up next.
Visit MadisonKYLive.com 24/7 and watch Good News, local weather forecasts, daily sports updates, and upcoming events 24/7. Madison County Live. It's good news.
We watch Madison County Live, and you should too.
We watch Madison County Live, and you should too.
Hi, my name's Ian, and I watch Good News on Madison County Live, and you should too.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Colleen.
Yes.
The weather is changing.
The weather is changing. Fall is upon us, Randy, and we're feeling it. How can we?
Don't like it.
Well, I'm here for it. I know you all are too.
MadisonKYLive.com. Get that 24/7 3-day forecast exclusively. MadisonKYLive.com. That HD camera. Take a look at the bypass. Gorgeous sunsets.
That's right. Now we're hoping the weather stays great.
We hope it stays fantastic.
We have a big event coming up this week.
Debbie from the Berea Chamber of Commerce is going to tell us again about the great things going on at the Spoonbread Festival. We'll be there. You should too. Watch this. Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors. Hey everybody, welcome to this special Spoonbread Festival segment for Madison County Live. We have a special guest, Debbie Warford from the Berea Chamber of Commerce.
Yes. Debbie, we are so happy to have you with us, and we are so excited for this year's Spoonbread Festival. Tell us all about it.
Oh, we are too. So, September 16th to 18th.
Okay.
We have the Spoonbread Festival going. So, Friday opens at 3 o'clock. We're going to have street performances. We've got the cloggers out there, the gymnastic girls out on the streets. We've got the dancers from different places. We've got live entertainment, different bands going the entire weekend, motorcycle show, car show, the hot air balloons.
Oh, everybody loves those.
Yes, Friday night from 7 to 10, we got hot air balloons going at the Berea Community School.
Excellent.
Yes,
now, where does this take place? the streets? Where is it roadblocked off? Where's all this action happening?
So it is down at Memorial Park where the Folk Center is on Jefferson Street in Berea. So we'll have that blocked off, as well as over at Berea Community School. Pirate Parkway, we will have the hot air balloon and car show set up over there.
Okay, good.
So, and we'll have 3 different motorcycle groups this year.
3 different ones?
3 different ones. So we'll have a motorcycle show for, every day.
So folks, look forward to this every single year. Tell us a little bit about the history.
Oh, so the history of Spoonbread. So now this actually, Spoonbread came about with Boone Tavern.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And so 2 little ladies started up a festival. That little festival grew to something huge, and this is the 26th year.
Is it 26 years already?
Wow. Yes. Now, also, we will have a Spoonbread eating contest. So those
I know that's always enjoyable.
To try Spoonbread, love Spoonbread. We do have on the street Spoonbread eating contest on Saturday.
Speaking of food offerings, tell us a little bit. You're going to have food trucks.
Oh my goodness, we are maxed out on food trucks. We have every kind of food imaginable. Desserts, the popcorns, we've got some Cajun country coming.
Nice.
Pork chop man, we've got it all.
Oh, you had me at pork chop.
We have to start exercising now.
Wow. So you can literally stay all 3 days.
Now, we do also have a 5K that we're hosting.
So you can run it off.
The weekend before Spoonbread. We have our Spoonbread 5K that we host every year right there at Berea Community School. So
wow. Okay, so each day, do the hours change each day?
Yes.
Okay, so what are those hours?
So on Friday, everybody's still in school, so we open at 3 o'clock.
Okay, got you.
All right.
And it's open until 10, yes.
It's open till 10,
Kick off at 3. Close at 10. Now on Saturday, we open at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Close at 10.
Okay.
Sunday, we do have a car show that starts Sunday morning at 9 o'clock.
The car show at 9, okay.
But the actual festival does not open until 12.
Okay.
And it's open until 5.
Open until 5 on Sunday. So for more information, where can everybody get this clearinghouse information?
Berea Chamber of Commerce.org.
Good.
We have a Spoonbread tab there. You can
click it,
become a sponsor.
Nice.
You can sign up to be a vendor. You can see our entire calendar of events as to what's happening each hour of every day and where it's located.
That's excellent. Fantastic.
Yes.
Spoonbread Festival 2022.
It will be the place to be. I know it takes so many people
It does.
to get this going and keep it going strong all these years. So
and we're still needing volunteers.
Still
So if you are
volunteers, so-
interested in volunteering, you can email us at chamber@bereachamber.com.
Excellent. All right.
Very good.
Hit Debbie up. They still need folks.
Right.
Can't wait, Debbie.
We can't wait to see you all there, and thanks so much once again for another exciting Spoonbread Festival.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Debbie and the folks at the Berea Chamber of Commerce, all the people in Berea. Huge festival, the Spoonbread Festival.
That's right. And Randy, speaking of Berea, you had a very special interview this week. Tell us about it.
That's right. Dr. Roelofs was on with Ricky Pryor, the editor at the Richmond Register. We're going to do a recap of that interview that Ricky did about Berea College's donation to Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief.
All right. Let's hear
this. Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors.
Thank you for joining me this week on the Priority Report. My special guest is Lyle Roelofs, president of Berea College, and he's here to talk about the more than $1 million donation to Eastern Kentucky relief efforts for the flooding. So how did this get started? When did the college kind of meet and said we're going to do something like this?
Well, thanks for having me, Ricky. And we began thinking about this just after we got the news. It's a little complicated in a college to allocate significant amounts of money outside the budgetary process. So we first figured out what we could do on campus, but then we had to check with the Board of Trustees, of course. So it took us about 2 weeks to get out there with the news. But we're thinking of long-term here. The immediate relief was being handled in other ways, but we know that the region will need some long-term help, and that's where we're hoping we can come in.
Now, the Appalachian region is closely, very tied to Berea College, so it's kind of natural that you guys would step up. Can you talk about, I mean, that's part of one of your great commitments. Could you kind of explain that to the viewers and how Berea College is tied to the region and has a special kind of relationship with that?
That's exactly right, Ricky. We describe our mission with what we call 8 great commitments, and I won't list the other 7, but the 8th of them is that we're going to be trying to serve the Appalachian region in ways beyond educating young men and young women that come out of the region. Our first commitment, in fact, is to serve the young men and young women of Appalachia with education. So 70% of our students at any given time are from Kentucky and Appalachia. But with that 8th grade commitment, we're also in the communities. We're working with nonprofits. We have special relationships with Hindman Settlement School, with Apple Shop, with the Appalachian Artisan Center, and so on. And we've just been connected to that region, not only the people and the nonprofits, but the communities and the businesses as well. So it's a relationship that goes way back, and it's important. We think of them as, in a way, part of Berea College.
Tell me a little bit about what this donation is going to do, what the plans are. You said that you want it to be kind of a long-reaching. Obviously, there's been lots of donations to that area, lots of relief efforts poured into there. But I think in your statements, you said that this is going to go beyond that, just beyond immediate, because I believe the college sent some immediate relief, and then this is kind of almost like a rebuilding kind of focus.
That's right, Ricky. We're thinking of putting substantial sums of money into 3 areas. We know that individuals and nonprofits will face a lot of difficulties. Houses need to be rebuilt. Nonprofits need to recover their assets and their activities and so on. We're going to do that part through the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky. Right from the start, that foundation was viewed as the knowledgeable resource for the area. So I was talking to Jerry Roll, their CEO, and she said right after the flood occurred, her agency got 8,000 applications from individuals for assistance. And they just sent everybody $250 immediately for whatever they might need. And then they began the process of going through all of those applications and making sure that their funds would go to the most deserving people and nonprofits that needed the most help. Toyota right away stepped up and sent $750,000 to the foundation for those purposes, and so we're going to send about $500,000 also for the same purpose, and that's an efficient way to allocate aid. Just collect all the needs in one place, collect the money, and then distribute it fairly. We also have a very special relationship with the school systems in Eastern Kentucky. That's where the future Berea students are having their middle school, high school educations. And to the extent that those schools have been damaged, that hurts those students directly, and of course that means they will be less ready, less able to go to college anywhere, including Berea College. So we've allocated about $750,000 just to make sure that those school systems have what they need to recover. We know that the state will step up and do quite a lot. The state just allocated $200 million for flood relief this past week, I believe. But libraries, athletic equipment, probably what teachers need in their individual classrooms. Most of the time the teachers have to spend their own money to make that room the learning environment that they want it to be. So that's the part we want to help with, not the part that the state would take on. And then finally, we'll also invest some funds in businesses. We know that if the small businesses in Appalachia aren't functioning, that's a lot of jobs. And of course, we need the small businesses for the necessities of life. If your grocery store has been flooded, what are you going to do? If trucks can't get through to the gas station, what are you going to do? So all of those 3 are big buckets in addition to the smaller things we did earlier on.
Now, you said the foundation is kind of whom you're working with, but you're also partnering with other places in Eastern Kentucky that's going to kind of help make sure that these funds go and get dispersed where. So kind of what is kind of the collection of that you've identified that's going to kind of partner with you on this?
Right. There's as you said, and I said, the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky is our key go-to for individuals and nonprofits. The best connection we have to businesses in Appalachia is the Mountain Association. They have offices in Berea, but also in several other counties, and they primarily work through providing subsidized loans to small businesses. So they have great contacts. They know which businesses have been damaged, can't make payments on their loans, but they have connections throughout the region. So we will work with them to make sure that our funds for businesses get fairly distributed. Interestingly, for the schools, I'm just calling the judge executives in each county and saying, what schools in your county have been damaged, and get me in touch with them. And I know that there are easy lists for the public school systems, but then there are private schools, church-associated schools, and so on. And of course, the judge executives in the counties really know what's going on. They're very forthcoming when things haven't been so bad. Like I was talking to the judge executives of Magoffin and Martin last week, actually this week, and both of them said, no, we're actually fine. Make sure your money goes somewhere else. And likewise, I was talking to a Johnson County judge executive this morning. He said, too, that we've had some roads damaged and so on, but our schools are fine. So we really will be able to target the aid to schools, places where it's needed the most, too. And we've said we could contemplate doing up to $50,000 per school if they've really suffered severe damages.
And in your experience with talking to those folks in Eastern Kentucky, I mean, what is kind of the level of damage, and what are the needs that they're coming to you and say, hey, this is what we need now, this is what we'll need in 3 months? Can you kind of distill that for our viewers and what you're learning about the situation there?
Well, what I'm hearing so far, in addition to the things we want to help with, these counties have terrific problems with infrastructure. Sewer systems are entirely washed out, roads and bridges are gone, and if you look at what they are going to have to take on, that $200 million from the state is not going to be nearly enough. One hopes that there will be quite a bit of federal help too. Obviously, smaller organizations like Berea College, Toyota, and other donors can't go around fixing bridges everywhere, replacing whole sewer systems, and so on. And I think that's what the judge executives are mostly worried about, and rightly so.
I believe you have quite a few students, especially this year from Eastern Kentucky, and I believe in a press release that you sent out is that you we're going to allow those students to come in early on campus and get settled that were affected, but none of them came and took you up on the offer. They stayed and they helped their area. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. We had 20-some students in the flood-impacted counties, and we got in touch with all of them. Most of them were able to respond. None of them had been hurt or family members hurt. Some of them had suffered pretty severe damage to their family home and their neighbors as well. But we did say, since it was only a week from when classes were starting, if you need to come early, if you have no house where you are or anything of that sort. But as Ricky said, they've all come back now that classes have begun, but none came early because there was so much to be done. And so we took a cue from that, and we allowed our people to go work in some of these areas too. We gave every employee up to 2 extra vacation days if they could go to an area that had been affected and do some good. We didn't want to just send unskilled people who didn't know what they were doing, but our horse loggers went with heavy equipment. We had a whole team go to Blackie because they had to dig their whole front, the whole main street out from like 2 feet of silt and sewage. some of our archivists spent time at Hindman Settlement School and Appalshop because they know what they're doing in recovering damaged documents and other things. So we've done a lot, but it's primarily Berea people stepping up with their time. We just paid them for that day like it was a normal work day.
And that's fabulous. I mean, I think that's what it's going to take, especially in parts of those areas which were completely damaged. And I mean, some of those smaller unincorporated towns, there you go there and there's nothing there. There's no street. It's been washed out or mudslides taken it. So when we're discussing this amount of money, and again going back to the long term, like how are we going to help in the long term, because there is this flood of money there, and you said that, you know, hopefully the federal will help with this kind of infrastructure that's needed, but what are the kind of long term circumstances that you think that area is going to need 6 months from now, a year from now?
Well, that's pretty far from my area of expertise, but
sorry about that.
my speculation is, and this actually came up in some conversations with judge executives, some of these counties have already built their schools out of the floodplains and maybe other infrastructure too. So the flattest land, the easiest place to build is always down by the creek or down by the river, but as good decisions get made, I hope that includes more resiliency, and that they're talking about it. How much of that will be achievable, I don't know. But if you think about it, putting a new bridge in is $2 million, putting a new school in is $40 million. I mean, the money is, it's going to be huge. Mm-hmm. And it'll be more than Kentucky alone can do, certainly more than organizations in Kentucky can do.
And just to kind of end it, I mean, there is some discussion that's going around of how does it get rebuilt? Should it get rebuilt? So what, because of Berea College's close tie to Appalachia, what are the pros of making sure that it is rebuilt and that history there is you know, brought forward and that area is rebuilt with some purpose?
It's a great question, and to me, those kinds of decisions have to be made locally. We've always tried to take the approach that we don't know better than local people or local communities what's in their best interest, and I think we're appreciated for that. But the sad thing is that we can probably expect more of this in the future rather than less with what's happening with the climate. Of course, any given flood is an accident of nature. Can't tie it directly to climate change, but you can say the frequency of events like this will increase. Also, there's the process of environmental damage associated with timbering, with strip mining and so on, that makes an area more vulnerable to, if the rain falls and is absorbed by the soil, that's different than if it falls and it all goes in the creek immediately. So if these areas are to be rebuilt, we have to do something about the environmental degradation that has occurred, and then something really smart about how do you build when you think that 1,000-year flood is now going to be happening every 20 years or something like that. So that's beyond my pay grade. I'll happily try to run a little college in the middle of Kentucky, but those are tough calls.
Oh, great. Anything else you'd want to add about the funding, what Berea College is doing, or your thoughts on the flooding or anything like that?
Well, I'll just say, some people say, where did that money come from? Because no one pays tuition at Berea College, so it's not like we've got a lot of extra money. But we have accumulated a couple of reserve funds. We think of them as rainy day funds. This was certainly a rainy couple of days, not on us, but on a region that we're closely connected to. So we felt it was appropriate to use some of our resources that weren't immediately needed for educating students. And we did that out of the confidence, too, that if something awful happens to Berea, Kentucky at some point, then there will be other organizations in Kentucky that will be there for us.
That's great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time and talking about this, and what a wonderful thing that the college is doing. So thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you, Ricky. It was a pleasure, and I thank you for paying attention to the most important things going on at any given moment.
Oh, not a problem. Thanks. And that's it for this week's Priority Report. Join me next week when I tell you more news you need to know about.
So for more information, make sure you contact Berea College. I think it's bereacollege.edu. It's very simple.
You got it, Randy.
That's right.
All right, very good. Okay, fall-like weather. That makes me want to get out and move. Let's see what
Does it?
It does.
Makes me want to hibernate.
It sure does. It's time for Exercise with Candace. Let's see what she has us doing this week.
Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors.
Hey y'all, it's time to exercise with Candace. And let's go ahead and start off with the warm-up arm circles. Backwards. Jumping jacks. Good. Let's go elbow to knee. Cross that body. Great. Hands on your hips, side to side. Good. Hands up, touch toes. All right, everybody, now we're going to do those fast feet. Good, have a seat on your bottom. We're going to do sit-ups. There's 1 and 2, Superman. Push up, Superman. Push all the way up. We're going to jog in place. Great job. All right, so this month I have been picking some household items. And so the last time we used a towel. This time, I'm just using some chicken noodle soup and some pear halves. And let's go ahead and bicep curl. Great job. All right, now we're gonna go in T. And then make sure you keep that form. Great. Oakley's getting excited. He thinks I'm gonna give him some pears. Great. All right, now we're gonna put them together and let's squat. All right, 2 more, 1, 2. Great job. Go be excellent to each other. Push through things that are hard. Have a great one, y'all.
Thanks to Candace, and of course you can find her playlist of all the exercises on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, which is linked by MadisonKYLive.com.
That's right. Very good, and special thanks to Candace. Randy, does that wrap us up for this Saturday
I think that
evening?
wraps us up for this Saturday. Fall. Do you like fall? Yes.
I love it. And I want to give a very special happy birthday to my mother, honey. It is her birthday today, so happy birthday, honey.
Happy birthday, dear honey. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear honey. We loved your honey baked ham.
There you go. Hope she had a fantastic day. All right, Randy.
We need to have her on the show.
We would love that. Yes, absolutely.
Show us how she makes her honey baked ham.
It's like no other. All right, it's time for the Cain Pole fishing report.
Yes, it is. Watch this fishing report. Temperature's getting cooler. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing a fishing show too, also live from the Cain Pole, talking about fall fishing. So stay tuned and watch the Cain Pole Facebook page.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you bright and early Monday morning.
Now get out the gloves. Chill. Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors. The weekly Kentucky Fish and Wildlife Fishing Report, brought to you by the Cain Pole in Southern Hills Plaza.
This is Marcy Anderson with the Fishing Report for Southeast Kentucky. On Lake Cumberland, anglers are having success picking up striped bass in the early morning hours in the lower portion of the lake by the dam. Target areas in the 60 to 80 feet deep range, using live shad for your best chance at catching one. The black bass bite has been somewhat variable. Evening and night hours are being more productive. Target main lake points and ledges for smallmouth bass and pockets with cover for largemouth. On the Cumberland tailwater, dissolved oxygen levels have been running somewhat low, so sluice gates are operating to help raise the dissolved oxygen level in the tailwater. The open sluice gate will make conditions somewhat rough in the area near the dam on the tailwater, so be hypervigilant and use caution when fishing in the area. In addition to the sluice gates, generation flows are still running high, but lower flows are predicted for the weekends. Trout fishing has been good in the tailwater as of late, with some nice rainbow trout being caught. Also, rainbow trout stockings will soon be underway for the fall in Rock Creek and McCreary County. They can be caught on a variety of lures, including small spinners, worms, and corn. So good luck and good fishing.
Things that folks need: food, shelter, clothing, medical care, transportation, and more. That's where the GoDirectory.info website comes in. Community agencies and churches are providing services that folks need across Madison and Estill counties, including Richmond, Berea, and Irvin, while bringing everyone together for the common good. Visit GoDirectory.info now and see how you or your agency and organization can make our community stronger by combining all of our individual strengths into one solid, purpose-driven mission.
Becoming a new parent can be an overwhelming experience, and babies don't come with instruction manuals. The HANDS program is available to answer your questions and provide you with the needed support. The HANDS program is free and available to new and expectant moms and for dads by joining the program during pregnancy or any time before the child is 3 months old. Let us help you handle the stresses that new families face by calling the Madison County Health Department, 859-626-4263.
Metronet Fiber. Love your internet. 100% fiber optic network for home, office, education, and business.
The Home and Community-Based Waiver Program, funded by Medicaid and administered through the Madison County Health Department, enables senior adults or persons of any age with disabilities to continue to live in their own homes. Attendant care services include light housekeeping, personal care assistance, mobility assistance, and other services. Call the Home and Community-Based Waiver Program today to speak to program staff at 859-623-3441. That's 859-623-3441.
Good news, weather, sports, events, cooking, music, and more right here on your Madison County Weather Channel. Watch at MadisonKYLive.com, YouTube, Facebook, and Roku. Visit MadisonKYLive.com 24/7 and watch good news, local weather forecasts, daily sports updates, and upcoming events 24/7. Madison County Live. It's good news.